Well, my friend has a Geely Star Wish that has been selling very, very well in the Chinese auto market in the past few months. It is in all categories and everything is included. This is the best-selling car. What about the machine? It directly helped Geely Galaxy sales exceed 1 million. Of course, Geely and other cars are also selling very well. What about now? Another thing to add is this Li Galaxy M9. Since it is a 9-character cup and a large 6-seater SUV, its direct competitors, Ideal L89, Win M890, Lan S09, Teng N9, etc. are very atmospheric. Then what about the shape? Everyone also thinks. In fact, the current 6-degree SUVs all seem to look almost too much, isn't it, of course? The car still has its own very clear selling points. What about this video? Let's chop it little by little and then everyone will finally summarize it. First of all, let's talk about the styling part. In fact, it's still the same sentence. All models now look very good, but this car has its own small feature. The feature is to attach the light strip on the front, which is most likely an option. However, it can be turned on or off with your operation in the hollow screen, but I think it is very beautiful to open it because it doesn't mean that it is on a flat surface. It has a front and rear level and it still looks good. If this is an installation, do you think you are willing to choose it? It may involve some small costs. Besides, what about the size of this car? The body length is more than 522 and more than 3 meters, but its length is 30. Other cars are more than 3 meters, but this car, just over 3 meters, everyone will question how its internal space performance is. Let's take a look. But what if the number is slightly shorter? In fact, the flexibility of this car will also bring some improvements. In addition, this car will also be equipped with a 3-motor version, which means that it will also have a rear-wheel steering function, so the flexibility of this car, we don't have to worry too much. At the same time, the chassis is obvious to all, and it should be relatively easy to drive. What about the entire inclined plane? That's it, but at the top. The light radar can see that the current shape has been optimized and its size does not appear particularly large, but will appear a little smaller. Even from a distance, you might ignore his presence. I think this will reduce the wind group coefficient by 1, which is quite a good idea, but the two biggest feelings of the whole body surface are that the first line is very straight, which will make the body surface of this car look slender and atmospheric. On the other hand, you can see that there is no ratio between this piece and this piece. The height of this piece is indeed higher than some drives we usually see. What advantages does it have? After its windows were completely down, he can lower it entirely, yet chooses not to, as its considerable storage height suffices. If children are present, they can enjoy the view more comfortably with improved visibility, which I believe is an excellent design feature. Additionally, enhancing the rear car window with privacy glass might elevate the design. In D's residence, the decorative strip's substantial thickness may impact the appearance of this space. It's very cranky. Can I look back? The rear part of this car is the classic design of Jilin and the family with a penetrating surround. Of course, if you have the key on your body, it will also support a VT door opening. What happens when it is open? The full air price of this car will automatically cooperate with you to lower it by 55 millimeters. At the same time, you can also see that it has some buttons for the full air price in the backup area, as well as the adjustment of the electric seats in the third row. So this car, all the seat configurations are electric, which also adds some luxurious attributes. This is the case with the space part. In fact, the space performance of this 6-seater SUV after driving is average and it cannot be particularly good. That is, it can accommodate some basic luggage. But there is still a little height that is enough, so there is no problem if you put a slightly higher 26 or 28 suitcase. I saw that the sauce rises quite quickly and it becomes very convenient to pick up things. It is only at such a height when it is reduced to the lowest level. I think it is still very convenient, so I basically have to take it like this. Is it true if you close the tailgate? The height of its price selection will automatically restore back, so this is a linkage, which is very convenient. What is the latest impression of this? It's this screen. This is a Delian screen of 6K30 in Son. It doesn't have a black edge in the middle of some drives now, it's completely connected. The previous Link Co 900 is very good and also supports leveling. Operation, although this is the current screen, we cannot do too much. A sharing, because there are some more interesting and more informative content coming out at the back, but it supports the leveling and the clarity is enough, and if you look at it from the front, the screen is also very thin, so it still feels very good. Besides, you keep a small screen on the front instrument, which he can take directly on most driving trips, but it is still a brand that focuses on driving. In this situation, the medical disc is equipped with the front HUD, allowing seamless integration of these screens. Furthermore, I prefer to keep my thoughts on these designs to myself, but the seating here is quite supportive, especially aside from the main driver's seat. It features additional support, but that is personal. After slimming down, the side-to-side stability and clarity improve significantly. As the driver of this vehicle, you'll experience it firsthand. There will be a good feedback. This one is tied to the front row. Just now, this car must have a big sofa. There is a thin top screen above it. At the same time, you can make a voice call and call it out of the refrigerator. The refrigerator below, I think its capacity is pretty good. That is, 9.1 liters is very long. In this case, it's actually okay to put down 2 bottles of red wine. Most refrigerators may be made like a main room, but this car is made like a cuboid. This is the difference. There is a small carriage here. These things are basic standard features, and you can see the massage in the back of this car from this angle. From every angle, the effect is pronounced, offering a head massaging sensation for enhanced relaxation. The attention massage of this car has been very sufficient in all the drives I have felt, so what else? If the passage in the middle is 180 meters, it is actually quite quiet. It is very convenient to hear the 23 rows. At the same time, the height is 1.3 meters, which means that it is okay for children who are tied to the side when standing. This is a little space and the performance is very good. And then there is the sense of space in the second row. If you put the 2 rows in a more suitable position, the head of the legs is the head, which is very full, but if you go back as far as possible, then I'll go just adjust to the last one, and the last leg is such a performance. You can do it when you lie down a little. It's still relatively comfortable. In addition, this car has a very flexible seat arrangement. For example, the co-pilot can be completely folded down, and then the second row can be completely folded down. In this case, there are many different modes that can be combined, such as large window mode, beach mode, 4-seat mode, etc., which are all okay. At the same time, he will have a 1-button control on the screen, and even the whole flexibility will be pushed out, but I will have a good look at the third row. As for its comfort level, adjust it to a relatively reasonable range. I went to the third row to have a look. This is about legroom. Actually, there is no problem. A punch. There is no problem with the performance of headroom. At the same time, there are several configurations in Xifeng. One is that its copy degree can be adjusted. You can lie back up to 150 degrees. The more you lie down, the more full the headspace will become. Look at me now, still lying down. Why am I still here? The third row of the car can be extended as far as possible. After you fold down the second row, it transforms into a large bed mode. Additionally, there's this screen in front of you. Imagine watching movies from the comfort of a bed. Wow, this experience is truly extraordinary. Moreover, if you want to ride at ordinary times, the window area is quite expansive, ensuring an actual sense of openness. That is, it is in the third row, which I like very much. It seems that other cars rarely do this. Finally, I would like to add this car. In fact, its biggest selling point is its plug-in configuration. The configuration of Raytheon AI Electric EMP 1.5T allows the acceleration of kilometers to more than 4 seconds. According to such data, the fuel consumption per 100 kilometers is also about 4.8 liters. In fact, for such a huge SUV driving, this data only allows it to travel 1,500 kilometers in total, so compared with most of the growth of 6 seats. For plug-in sports, you don't have to worry about power at all. At the same time, the comprehensive economy now also tells you that I think Jilin's cooperation on these 2 points is quite good. Finally, everyone has been saying that their driving assistance ability is relatively weak, but with the ability of Chanly HE5 on this car, a LiDAR on its head can achieve its No A without a picture, including unlocking urban highways. Of course, after the actual performance, I will experience it in detail.